fuck? And my dude Joe Vargas is looking at me like, what's the matter with you?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I just have this fucking ill fucking thought that I don't ever want it. Where did that thought come from? It's just like, dog, it's real right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then there's like, how come white people can't allow black people to just be powerful by themselves and shit? Even the Ice Cube shit that's been all hot. Because I'm like, why are you guys writing on Ice Cube? Ice Cube actually did something, but then after I listened to some shit, I get it.
It's women's liberation. And I tell chicks all the time, black civil rights and women have pretty much damn near the same fight, almost hand in hand. And at the end of the day, like Bill Burr said, like, why do you chicks always waiting fucking to take over guys' shit? Why do you want to do shit guys are already doing? Make your own shit.
Right.
Make your own comedy club, full female comics, make your own female movie studio, just make your own shit. And like, as black people, we're finally starting to get that. It's like, just buy your own fucking camera.
Right.
Get a notepad. Write down a movie.
So on that note, real quick,
give you a chance?
Let me do this intro real quick. This is episode 2 of the Impossible Color podcast. We're actually outside right now, so pardon the audio issues if it sounds kind of wild, but this is your host, Jaron Ikner, here with Ashe Bridges, and I got some special guests with me. Shout out to Joey Rodriguez, Joey Bags, and Drew Schermrick. How you say your last name? Schermrick, sorry, I apologize. And yeah, we're just kind of having a conversation. I figure I turned this on because we're out here talking, waiting for people to show up for this meeting, so I figure I fire up the old recorder and get this podcast popping. So go ahead and listen and enjoy. Sorry. So we were talking basically about black people again.
Right.
It's a running theme.
It is.
I've been black for a while now. It hasn't gotten any easier. No, but the other thing was, it's just like we were talking about waiting for opportunity as opposed to creating it for yourself. And there's like this awakening that's happening. Musicians are starting to understand it. All artists are starting to understand it. We don't need the big companies anymore. Come on, you got Kanye West crying about how he's not getting his damn masters, but yet he's keeping masters from his own artists.
Right.
You know, and I feel, and that's where it is right there. It's the system of how we're created. It's like that test they did on the monkeys, where they put the banana on top of the ladder, right? They were hanging from the ceiling, and the first monkey to reach the banana, they would like hose him with water and knock him off the ladder, and he'd get hurt. And so the monkeys instinctually started keeping the top monkey from getting to the bananas. And over time, they took the bananas away, and the monkeys just instinctually did that.
Right.
That's exactly what's happened to us as people.
Okay.
And especially like with black people, it's almost like we're programmed not to work together. We all want to be Jordan. Nobody wants to be Pippen. Nobody wants to be Rodman.
Well, sounds like the Willie Lynch papers and shit. If you've done some history and read about
I've read that.
I don't know if it's real or not. I've said it. I've read where it's been debated or not.
I'll tell you, it works.
But
even if it wasn't real, it works.
And then coming from a white person, look,
I can see it.
I love all people, bro. I've been on this earth. I'm a white dude who grew up poor, lower economic class. I always grew up in the hood or around the hood. All my impression growing up actually came from white people. But I also was in certain situations and growing up around people, they want to see what type of person you are.
Right.
So they're going to test you.
Yeah.
So
you
like,
get on both sides.
So as weird as this sounds, by always being an outsider in life, period, at a very fucking young age, I understood the technology of it.
Right.
I came up from California where they were making us watch Roots. They wanted everyone to watch Roots in the 4th grade.
We watched that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was getting beat up by white dudes, and the only people in my schools that were showing me fucking ultimate passion and love were black people, black students. In the worst periods of my life when I was dealing with different types of trauma that children should never work with or have to deal with, it was a fucking black janitor named Jay, ex-baseball player. You know what I'm saying? Who fucking sat me down. It was the father I needed when I didn't have the father that I needed. It was a lady named Marcy who took time in me, took me to roller rinks, and sat me down and showed me love. And when I was getting beat the fuck up by everybody, the world was trying to kill me and who I was in my heart, it was ultimately black people who showed me ultimate passion and shit. Ultimate compassion, sympathy, understanding. So in a small way, without this, I can never take away. I guess I can never know the experience because I don't have the skin.
Let me give you a very interesting perspective.
Yeah.
In my life, most of the oppression that I've received and most of the hate, let me get one of them.
Yes, sir.
This is worth a cigarette. Most of the oppression I've gotten in my life has been from my own black people.
Okay.
That's true.
The most hate I've gotten came from black girls.
Self-hate.
White girls love me. Got a half black, half Mexican chick that loves the shit out of me now. I can't find a black chick to save my life. I threw a goddamn barbecue, a fuck racism barbecue when I first moved in and shit.
Right.
A housewarming party for myself, so to speak, right? And I invited everybody on Facebook, like, hey, man, you know, I raised a little bit of money. I'm like, hey, I'm cooking. Come on down. Man, one nigga showed up. One black dude and a light-skinned dude showed up, and everybody else was white and Mexican. And when I looked at that,
Why do you think that was, though? Let me ask you.
You know what? Let's talk about it on some. It gets deeper than this because okay, when I grew up in school, my elementary school, 1st through 6th grade, it was mostly white kids and Mexicans. You know, lower middle class kids, right? And lower middle class to poor fucking kids, right? But my mom, she always carried me with class, and you know, I always dressed well, and I was very good at reading, you know, and we learned phonograms.
Okay.
So I learned how to enunciate very early on, but also I have a severe lisp and a dental situation, so my teeth don't close. So for people to understand me, so I didn't sound like Sylvester the Cat, I had to enunciate very well, right? So when I talk to black people, people think that I'm trying to sound white.
Right.
Right?
I've heard this narrative before.
All the fucking time. And it's almost like being intelligent
because
is
you sound intelligent, can articulate, depending on the perspective. I hate to say that because I don't want to be the white, because I was going to say, before you even said it, you speak very well, very clearly.
If you heard me on the phone, you would be surprised when you
never
see
would
me.
know, right?
Yeah, it's like, oh,
Right.
you're black, shit.
Right. So with that being said, I've heard the narrative, and I think that's shitty.
But also at the same time, the reason why I got over that shit was like, I grew up on SNL as a kid. You know, that was my shit.
Saturday Night Live.
You know, yeah, dude, Adam Sandler, David Spade. That's when the first impression I learned was Johnny Carson. You know, and so I learned how to impersonate white people before I learned how to impersonate black people. But it was realizing that if you want to be an actor, if you want to be an entertainer, first of all good actors have an interesting voice.
Okay.
That was the old rule of theory. All good classic actors.
You got to be able to listen to them.
Yeah, Clark Gable, Humphrey Bogart. You listen to these guys; they all have very distinct voices. Nicolas Cage, you know, like who really talks like that? You know, he created in his mind
the nuances and shit, the way they move.
And so that's the whole thing. There's like these little bitty ticks that you know any good, interesting actor has.
Right.
And I think when you master those things, before I used to try to, you know, I talked white around white people and I talked black around black people.
Right.
And then this chick called me on it. She's like, "You're a sellout. You sound fake as hell." And I thought about that shit and I'm like, damn, dude, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? So you know what I started doing? I started talking black as fuck around white people, and I started talking white as shit around black people.
Right.
Like, fuck all y'all.
You flipped it.
Flipped it. Man, I call white people nigga all the time.
Right.
I call white people nigga 200 times a day just to keep my teeth white. You know what I'm saying? This is good for my spirit.
Right.
But I don't call black people that anymore. You know what I'm saying? But I don't call white people nigga in a derogatory way. It's the endearing way.
The endearing way.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what? Y'all can have the word. I'll give it to you. But we're gonna do it like this.
Right.
On my terms.
Right.
Gotcha.
Or we're not doing it at all.
Right.
You know, and it's like, do I want to go around and say honky and cracker? No, that shit doesn't roll off the tongue right. I didn't grow up listening to that shit in music. Now maybe if all the rappers I was growing up were dropping cracker every fucking goddamn bar,
no.
Let's talk about it.
I understand this as a white person in hip hop.
You listen to Dead Prez, you're like, oh shit, these niggas are mad.
Right.
Because you hear that shit. It's like, wow, it's almost abrasive.
It's been a narrative in multiple times with white people using the N-word in hip hop. Because I've been around. There's been points in time where like the only people I've been around were not white.
Right.
So if you're around that long enough, you're not just you're gonna speak like it. You're gonna act like it. You're gonna in any situation, in almost any situation, if you take somebody and put them in a different surrounding, they're gonna acclimate in certain ways.
Yeah.
But then you get to the realization of the power of what's being said and how that can be used, and how the camera's gonna be used against you. Is it all right to do that? Is it not all right?
Well, I think that goes in like, I think it goes back like the proper home training.
But you shouldn't use it, period, though.
No, you shouldn't.
Would be the ultimate thing that everybody could agree with because of the power and the way much loving endearment comes from it. There's also such a negative aspect on it for anybody to use it. And ultimately, yes.
Here's how I feel about it. I don't believe in self-censorship, you know? I like people saying how they feel because that lets me know who the fuck you are.
Right.
If you think that shit's okay, now I know who I'm talking to.
Exactly.
Thank you. But if you spend all your time lying and hiding, trying to be polite to me, when I find out, it's going to be a problem.
Right.
It's going to be ugly because it's like, bro, I thought you were better than that, man.
Well, because if you're lying, you're trying to create a narrative that's false, possibly. And if you're trying to manipulate me on your false narrative.
My father was born in Moss Point, Mississippi in the 50s.
Probably the most racist place in the world at that point in time.
My father told me this, and I'm sure you've heard this before, but he says, I have more respect for a white man that will call me a nigger to my face than behind my back, because there's no misunderstanding.
Because then you know who they are, and you know how to deal with them.
Yeah, I'll leave you the fuck alone.
Right.
I'm trying to go home tonight. I'll walk that way.
Right.
So when I see these militia dudes out here with the goddamn pistols and shit, it's like, okay, well, now you're all on camera. Now we know who you are.
Right.
Not every other white dude ain't with the shit like that, dude.
Right.
And guess what? Every black dude ain't trying to be Malcolm X out here, dog.
Right.
I love my people, but I'm only trying to fight on camera.
Right.
I'm older now. Y'all figure it out.
Right.
I'm a veteran, dude. I already fought for this country. Y'all figure it out.
Right.
I came back home on some Rambo shit, nigga. I should have stayed over there.
So can I ask you a question?
Trying to find peace.
So recently, I found myself fucking getting into. I've always, again, through hip hop, I've been exposed to certain ideologies. The 5%ers, Nation of Islam.
Yeah. Some pretty heavy shit, man.
Some real heavy shit.
You gotta go light on that.
Recently, I found myself very much recently listening to a lot of shit from Louis Farrakhan. Right?
Oh, yeah, man.
I've never listened to Louis Farrakhan a day in my life other than what I saw on Donahue.
Oh, he's cold, bro.
So here's my question.
It's cold.
I don't think he's a racist.
Nah, bro, he ain't a racist.
I don't think he's a racist at all.
He's not a racist.
The thing that I get from him, I hear how he tells it out. Unless there's some secret
Bro,
shit that
I've
nobody's
been
ever heard.
Dog, I've been listening.
Right?
I've been listening to Farrakhan since the Donahue episode in '94.
Right.
Like I saw that
right.
shit on TV. My mom made me watch
Right.
that episode. She's like, "Baby, watch this," because there's certain things your parents have to expose you to, because they don't know how to explain it. You know what I'm saying? And he's eloquent, as we say.
He's articulate, so he can explain it in a way that everyone can understand.
But I'm going to tell you from my perspective as a black man that's not even Muslim, right?
Right.
When has that man ever told me to do anything negative to white people in my entire life?
Right.
Not once. All he's ever told me was watch what you're looking at.
Right.
Know the reality around you.
Right.
Take care of yourself. Push yourself to a higher level so
Right.
you can see these motherfuckers. Because, and it's like Neely Fuller Jr. said, if you don't know who Neely Fuller is, y'all all need to look him up. Y'all need to look up Neely Fuller Jr. And he broke down and explained how white supremacy works.
Right.
And one of his main quotes is, until you understand white supremacy and how it works in a society and how it affects you, everything about this will confuse you.
Well, here's the thing, though. That makes sense to me because the epiphany that I had recently, just in the last recent months, is that fucking black and white actually don't even exist in a skin tone. Because as I'm sitting here with Mr. Ikner and yourself here, you guys ain't black. No. You know what I'm saying? At all. And as I look at myself and I look at Drew here and I look at Joey, I'm not white either. I'm actually a fucking hue. I have some brown with some pink. You know what I'm saying? I got right.
Yeah.
So the black and white thing is actually a mentality. It's not a fucking skin tone at all.
At the end of the day,
and they're actually polar opposites and extremes at the worst and at the best, but in the middle, something that we were discussing, Drew, the other day was the gray areas. What we're seeing right now is an absolution and a dissolving of gray areas and fucking theologies and how we interact with each other. Because people are so fucking fed up. Like, if you even want to bring up Trump and Biden in politics, which is something I don't want to, but I do want to, but I don't because of the way narratives, the way the narratives and how it drives people to go to opposite ends, Doc. Doc, when you were saying, look at you, honestly, dude, I don't think Trump's a racist. Though this dude exhibits racist behavior,
he's an opportunist.
He's an opportunist, and money is his power, and influence, and money is his currency.
You can call him whatever you want.
Right.
Is your judgment going to change anything?
But also,
is your opinion about him being a racist going to fix the economy?
No, it's not. But it breaks down back to Ice Cube and shit. Because I've been following Ice Cube.
Man.
That's my favorite.
Been real your entire life, and now you want to get mad during election season. Yeah. And this dude's like, you know what? I was bored. I had a couple ideas.
But I understand what he did. But what he did was tell the truth. What he said was, as I brought this to both parties, one said they weren't going to listen and do anything until
they got the bag.
So the Black Pander Party, Kente Clausen kneeling on camera and shit doing Wakanda fucking signs for a fucking photo op.
Oh God, it was bad, dude.
The worst fucking thing I ever saw in my fucking life.
Clinton with the hot sauce, dude. Jesus fucking Christ.
Are you serious?
It's been a shit show for a decade. It's been Dude, it's been bad. Dude, no, it's been a shit show since that goddamn motherfucking Billy Bob pedophile motherfucker got the goddamn saxophone on the Arsenio Hall show.
Right.
I didn't know what I was looking at.
Doc, and I even heard,
but now that I'm older,
heard Farrakhan talk about
pandering, dude. They've been pandering since the 90s, bro.
Right.
He got that black vote locked in on one episode. That's how goofy we are.
But look at the,
Like, oh, he can-
the
oh, he can
thing is
play.
how they're
Oh, that boy
controlling.
can play.
They're controlling narratives and shit. So like you're starting to
Jesus
see
Christ.
shit. You're starting to see shit with like individuals that you've never seen before.
Well-
Would be two individuals I could put out would be Colon Noir and Candace Owens, right?
Okay. Oh yeah.
So these are two people who seem to have Republican views and conservative values, but because they're lumped in to what's considered to be the fucking devil in America right now by so many who were being told us, and I'm not saying he is or isn't. I haven't voted yet, and I don't know who I'm voting for because I'm still trying to fucking figure this out.
It's
But there's
okay
so much
just to vote for the
confusion.
weed and leave everything else blank. It's okay just to vote yes on the weed.
Right. Or I was wanting
No,
to vote
serious.
Jurgensen, that other Joe Jurgensen.
Yeah, I looked her up. It's
But
like,
third party just no love.
Yeah.
But it's the point of it's this narrative, like to bring it back to what you were saying earlier, because you were younger, you had some speech issues that were going on, you had to learn some different forms of trying to talk, which made you sound articulate and intelligent. But because you came from a place where they told you articulate and intelligent was trying to tell you that you're trying to act uppity and white, you had to fucking create two different people when there's actually one person. And in the end, with growth, this is why I'm so against fucking cancel culture. The fucking it's worse. It's social justice warrior bullshit. I cannot prescribe to at all. I will not give any credit to. You're not allowing people the opportunity to fucking grow,
Dude.
and you're taking sound bites. You're taking 5 to
Dude,
15 seconds
all things-
of a sound bite to prescribe the worst fucking possible narrative to fucking prevent something which might actually possibly turn out to be in your fucking benefit. But because everything that looks and talks like you tells you this one thing,
Yeah.
you have to automatically prescribe to. I've heard it
that's
recently.
what
The
Kanye
code.
was trying to say. I mean, people weren't hearing him. That's what he was trying to say.
See,
And you know,
Kanye fucked up because he
he
already
went
shot
too hard.
himself in the foot. Like if he was saying all the things he was saying now,
I'll be right back.
Before
Right.
he said that slavery wasn't a choice or whatever, we would be listening to him. But the problem is that he gave the media, the powers that be, a reason to kick him out of the conversation.
Right.
Kanye's not in the conversation anymore, and it pisses me off. 'Cause that's my fucking idol.
Yeah, that's my
But
dude,
like,
man.
Well, he fucked up with me when he went from Jesus walks to embodying a Luciferian thought process.
Jesus, bro, yeah.
But I believe he's back to. He's trying. I listened to his album, the gospel album he put together.
but I think he's
like it.
overcompensating though.
He is though, but it's because he went to such extremes in such a quick amount of time. Like, dudes, you flip the coin like on some fucking Two-Face shit. I don't know what I'm getting because there's not a consistency on how you went from black to white, so to speak, like that.
Right.
Like, dude, what are you really? You fucked yourself already where nobody's ever gonna trust you. And now you have to take the time to show a consistency in your actions and your words
Exactly.
to show that, okay, I believe you now.
Exactly.
Because we're all looking for something to believe in. We all want something besides ourselves, and it should start with self first and foremost, no matter who and what you are. As long as it's something that's beneficial to you and everybody else, I never have an issue with it. It's not until it becomes a toxic, poisonous thing for all parties involved, then you have to start looking at it. Even when you're talking about the difference between, what's appropriate for a kid to watch on TV and listen to what's not. These kids are so fucking smarter at such a younger age now.
It's hard to interpret.
It's hard. Every individual's different. So like the fucking you can't just push it on everybody. You gotta. That no longer works. This one thing that works for one works for all does not work anymore. And it goes across the board from fucking race, mentality, religion, sexuality, what you identify with, politics. Like, dude, you gotta throw all that shit out the window, but you can't throw it all out the window because still in these old things that are fucking, if it's been true for 1,000,000 years, it's true fucking now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, because right now, he was bringing up black rights and he was bringing up women's rights, right? So what we have right now is you have access to information that's so light speed proficient, but we have all this intelligence, but we don't have wisdom.
Right.
Wisdom waits, fools rush in. So everyone's so quick to go from 0 to 60, like light speed. Not everyone's ready for light speed. You have to develop you have to build yourself
Build
up
the
to be able
engine to hold light speed.
Right. You can't just automatically think, boom, that's what. Fuck no.
Well, it's like when you train an astronaut to go to space. I can't just take you and throw you in fucking space.
Fuck no, you'll die. You'll
You
die.
have to go into the G-force chamber and go around a couple times, and then they increase the
Find out what
the
happens when
velocity.
gravity doesn't have an effect on your body anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
and
the
you
same
have
type
to
of
go up
deal.
there for even just 30 days.
Yeah.
Or even a week.
Even
As
a couple
opposed to
days, yeah.
motherfuckers, the dude who was underwater for 30. There was a dude who lived underwater for like 30 days. Underwater in a scuba suit and the whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, I remember
And that's
that.
not even without gravity. That's the closest thing. That's why when they train astronauts, they're in the fucking water and shit to give you an idea. Because your body don't know what to do anymore because you've had gravity your entire life.
It's the same concept. Basically,
Right,
when
yes.
people are trying to go to space.
Right.
People don't know that they have to like mentally prepare themselves for what is coming.
Right.
Whatever
Mentally,
that may-
physically,
whatever
emotionally.
That may be, whether it's like war, whatever the fuck you're talking about, like people ain't ready for this shit. And it's
Fuck
funny on
no.
Facebook, like when I get into arguments with people on Facebook, and they're so hard on their stance.
Right.
And it's like you don't have the answers. None of us have the answers.
Nobody.
And that's the thing that makes us beautiful as humans is that all we're really trying to do at the end of the day is not die.
Right.
You want to know the
At
answer?
the very bottom of it, we're just not trying to die.
Some
Right.
of the prominent astronauts were the finest human specimens when they went into space and came back and became alcoholics, either because what they saw or what they experienced
The concept
physiologically.
of astronaut suicide.
Yeah.
It's like if you go to space, right?
Major Tom, dude.
You see the greatest thing ever. You'll see the fucking world. You're gonna see things that only very few people in this world
can't
have seen.
top that.
And you go back home,
not really.
there's nothing like it.
Right.
So the
to
suicide
live in
rates of the
Tokyo.
astronauts
I've
and
been
people
bored
in
ever
NASA
since.
are higher because
What do they see though?
fucking space, bro. Like
And
aliens?
the world, just
Well,
like
skeletons.
Just the galaxy, like the
just the
emptiness,
perspective,
how
right?
big,
Like, yeah.
How just far away from
Yeah, just
everything?
how
How
small,
small
you
we are.
It's how fucking small you
How
really
small we are, like,
it's-
literally.
No
it's
direction
like-
home, dude.
infinite.
When you really
No
think
direction
about it,
home, bro.
when you really think
No
about
south,
it, though,
east, west. Doesn't do
Nothing,
No
dog.
gravity to
Yeah.
hold you. This.
Now, here's
Yeah,
the
you're just
crazy
there.
part. Like, okay, now check it out. Here's
The
part.
ether.
Here's the crazy
You're
part,
in
right?
the ether now.
Yeah. No, but here's how we don't even think about things, okay? We've been on this. I grew up in this city, right? I was born here, right? I've been around the world and whatnot. I came back to this city, and I feel like I'm in the same place. Bullshit. Been on here for 30-something years. Where this planet was in the galaxy is thousands of miles away from where it started when you were born.
You're never in the same position ever once in your life physically.
You're never
Nope.
really home, dude.
Nope.
And here's the crazy part.
Swirling through the universe.
We think we're black, we think we're white, we think we're this or that. You don't even know where the fuck you are.
So how do you
Like
know what
really
you
where
are?
we are. Like,
Really?
like,
Bro,
really, like,
and what I was gonna say is, dude, all this really is, dude, and like, I've done a lot of psychedelics, so trust me on this.
Yeah, I do. I done
Everything-
it too. Yeah.
Everything is constructs, dude.
Yep.
Everything is constructs. These cars, the sidewalk, the way this park was planted, the way your hair is. It's all a construct. It's all an idea of an idea of an idea. And all we're seeing right now is a bunch of people like, dude, fuck these constructs.
Basically,
This is bullshit.
We're in the middle of a giant, massive paradigm shift, and that's
Yeah, the poles are shifting,
that's
dude.
the blessing of COVID, because COVID exposed everything.
Yeah.
COVID exposed every fucking thing from
You
our
can't
shitty
fuck around
economy
anymore.
to our
Everything and
shitty
everybody.
government, to how people interact with each
Generation
other,
Z is
like
mad
how much you really
apathetic,
care
but-
about somebody else, like how altruistic you are, and how much you really want to care about the next
Are
man.
you really racist?
All
Are
that
you
shit's
really
getting exposed right
understanding?
now.
Are
It's
you
all
really
on the table.
forgiving? It's gonna test
And
you, dude.
Yeah.
People are either gonna raise to the next frequency, or they're gonna fall off.
And it's all vibrations, dude. So
Yep.
like the music I listen to, the kind of conversations I have, man. And I even told my girl, I'm like, if we can't be positive with each other, let's not talk at all.
Right.
Yep.
And Neely Fuller said, black people shouldn't communicate each other, should not even communicate with each other unless they're being constructive.
Right.
If you're not being constructive with your fellow brother, if you're not trying to build some shit, work on some shit, talk about some spiritual shit, grow on some
Which
level.
means if it's not coming from an ultimate place of love.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so
Because there's a difference between being like, Doc, I think you're a piece of shit, to like, Doc, you're doing a piece of shit.
You're fucking up right now. You're fucking up right now.
No matter how that draws out, no matter how it's fucking said.
Well, then we
like,
call it what's like body shaming. And then we
because
start
everyone
getting
wants
too
to be right.
sensitive.
Nobody wants to be wrong, but you got to understand you got to be wrong before you can be right to even understand what
Well,
right is.
It goes back to the old saying, right? Like Bill Burr was talking about, like, I don't understand this fucking body shaming thing because, like, back in the day, your guy gets your buddy's getting heavy. It's like, hey man, you're looking like a fat piece of shit, man. You need to fucking do something. Right? You can't say that shit to a guy. It's
Right.
like, oh, you're shaming me. It's like, no, you're dying, fool. And I
you're
care
killing
enough to
yourself.
fucking tell you. Or I
Right.
could be nice your entire life, pretend everything's okay, and then I'll bring
Right.
shrimp to your fucking funeral
Right.
that you can't eat because you're not fucking here. Rest in peace to John Candy, my nigga.
Give roses while they're here.
My mom's always said that. Give people your roses while they're here. And that's why, dude, like, okay, to me, Black Fist, it's anti-racism, man. It's like my blueprint to, like, how do we end this shit? Yeah. And it's really fucking simple. You're looking at it right now. You have got 4 or 5 different backgrounds, but we're
Probably
just
more.
sharing. Yeah.
If you really get down to the DNA
Yeah,
structure.
think about how many different people made you, dude.
But I think
How many
on a wide
countries
end,
have I been to?
I think on a wide
I'm
end,
so fucking Asian. I'm so fucking Mexican. I'm so native, dude.
you got people who are afraid. You got a lot of white people, and I can tell you this
Yeah,
as
it's
somebody.
fair.
If you were to ask me what I identify with right now, I would tell you black. I was in Levine for fucking 3 days, and I fucking told somebody, they're like, "Why do you want to fucking move to Levine?" Because
Niggas
I'm
over
fucking
there.
comfortable.
Niggas
I know what
over
the
there.
fuck I'm dealing with. 110%.
We literally look at
I know
each other.
exactly who and what every single person is
I stayed in Levine since I moved
from
here.
the jump because it's authentic. Bringing
Straight
back
up.
what you said earlier, being authentically true to who and what you are is everything. I trust the devil I know as opposed to the devil I don't fucking
Yeah,
know.
see, check it out for me, though. Check it out for me, though, dude.
Yeah.
I grew up in the VGs in the 90s, bro.
Okay.
43rd Avenue
Yeah,
and
I've
Thomas,
been there.
bro.
Yeah.
That's my old neighborhood,
Arlo
bro.
Barone grew up right there.
Yep.
Gerald, do you know a Terminator Tragic?
Nah.
The only 6'7", 380-pound black dude that was there.
Well, man, I was a kid back then. I left in
Gerald Lewis is his name.
2001. I remember
Okay.
Big Dookie and Lil Dookie.
He lived there, yeah.
Yeah, a couple of man, the old school cats, man, from the 90s. And like, but here's the thing, though. I saw that neighborhood be a war zone, dude. Saw the crack walk, the hoes, all that shit. And then I remember one day the cops came, and man, it was a weekend. There was a raid, and all the niggas was gone by Monday.
Right.
2 months later, everybody in my neighborhood was Pisces. No offense. I'm not talking about Hispanics. I'm talking about Mexicans from Mexico, and I ain't talking about regular Mexicans from Mexico. I'm talking about Pisces. Like, motherfuckers with the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's different.
Right.
It's just like, are we talking about black people or are we talking about niggas? It's 2 different conversations.
Right.
Just miss me with that bullshit.
Right.
Okay, we're not all African Americans out here. Some of us have jobs. Some of us don't give a fuck about a job. There's a different fucking, it's different. So anyways, once that happened, my connection to black people was like stripped away. Even if it wasn't the best example, still my neighborhood, still my culture, right? And then it was just gone. And then it got replaced by a culture that was very foreign to me. And then right after that, I went to the Navy. 9/11 happened, and I lived in Japan for 2 fucking years. And I became a man in Japan. And I felt more at peace.
The illest
And
place in the world, I think, is
Dude,
Japan.
I became the best version of me in Japan. And ever since I've been back in America, I felt like I've been like a character of myself because this isn't who I really am. In Japan, it's cool to be humble, dude. It's cool to just be chill.
Yeah.
To just shut the fuck up.
To be disciplined.
Yeah, like people like that, dude. If people want to talk to you, they'll ask you some shit. You leave each other the fuck alone. But in America, we respect balls.
True. Right.
And it's like, that kind of goes against who
Savagery.
Yeah, dude, and that kind of goes
We're
against...
built on savagery. Our whole country
Gangster
is.
mentality and savagery.
Dude, the meek, humble version of me, no matter how long I've been doing martial arts, that shit doesn't work in America.
Right.
It just doesn't, dude.
That's basically what capitalism is. It's like
Yeah.
it's
People are voting for
legal
Trump because he
savagery.
says wild, crazy shit, and he gets away with it. And people love seeing a nigga do shit they can't do. That's why we love Kanye. That's why we love Tupac. We love seeing niggas fly. We love seeing motherfuckers fucking balling and doing crazy wild shit, grabbing by the pussy. Y'all niggas ain't mad? Nope. Man, he's killing it. It's almost like, man, it's like you're hate proof. Like, I want to hate you, but I can't. Even if I do hate you, dude, you got a rally full of people ready to fucking die in your name right now. This shit is biblical. It's weird.
Say,
This nigga's throwing fucking disease-infested softballs.
verbatim, I could shoot your grandma in Central Park and you would still vote.
Fuck
for
him ass.
Bro, no, hold on. Did we? No,
We
hold
all
on,
got
hold on,
COVID,
hold
but
on,
I
hold
got
on.
better in 2
Hold on.
days.
Like,
but you
someone
don't
asked-
have access to what I have access to.
Someone-
You don't got Regeneron.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the new shit. Let's get back to the old shit. I mean, like, top 100 Trump niggerish moments, right? To me, this will always be number one. He's done a lot of offensive shit, but when I think about what's the most offensive shit I've ever seen this nigga do?
Eating Taco Bell on Cinco de Mayo?
No. Let's bring it back to when we had that horrible hurricane in Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico still fucked up.
Throwing them toilet
This
paper
dude
rolls.
is like,
Kobe.
bro, I'm watching this shit in real time, like, it's not strong enough. It's like,
It's got to be a satire, right?
this,
It just doesn't
What
seem
did he
real.
do?
It's like
dude,
scripted.
the whole goddamn country was destroyed by a goddamn
Yeah.
hurricane. This dude is fucking free throwing paper towels at a crowd of homeless Puerto Ricans.
Oh, God.
Bro, that happened. This is on H definition camera.
Yep.
Like this is 1080p. This shit happened.
Living in the theater of the absurd.
Bro, and I'm looking at this shit, and I'm thinking about white people, and I'm like, and that's what scares me about white people, because I'm like, how much of this shit do you have to see, and you still roll with this nigga?
Nah.
What does that say about you? Nah. Even black people, man, we don't want to vote for Biden, but we're like, well, shit, man. At this point, we're like, man, who's trying to bring a check? You know, if y'all niggas want to have a raise for it, just go ahead and have it over there.
Over there.
Just let me get my check, man, so I can move back to somewhere.
Yeah.
I think we're all ready to go back to Africa right now. They don't got goddamn COVID over there.
I want to go to Japan.
No, you don't.
At the end of the day, like,
no?
I feel like as a black,
You can't afford it.
As a black adult, I think about my adult life as a black person, and the president, whoever the president has been, has never affected me directly.
Ever.
Directly, where I like shit's getting real because of someone's in office. But what's happening with Trump is that
You can see this shit on the street.
It's the galvanizing of assholes. It's the lack of denial on certain things. It's the lack of It's when he had the moment to say fuck this shit. And here's the weird thing.
Oh, that was bad.
Like Cloud Boys.
That's like top 4.
Like, dude, who are these dudes? I don't know who these dudes are.
Niggas in Hawaiian shirts.
But then you see the first person they give you is the fucking Cuban leader from the Florida thing, and I know who started it. I know what it was originally, what it was infiltrated to be, what it was exposed to be. But I'm like, are these dudes really racist? I don't fucking know. You guys got me so fucking weirded out. Where if I don't see you in a Ku Klux Klan fucking hoodie.
Are they trying to troll the media? Or
like what? I don't even know what the fuck you are anymore.
Are we talking about the Boogaloo Boys?
The Proud Boys.
The Proud Boys.
Proud Boys.
But see, the thing about that, you can go on Wiki right now, which is wild that they have.
That's 2 different
Wiki
groups,
pages.
ain't it?
There are 32 white supremacist groups on.
Right.
I'm getting lost.
That have wiki pages and websites and shit.
Right.
And it's like, that's wild because if I had a
We still
Black
got
Panther
Bloods and
website,
Crips.
It'd be gone.
It'd be fucking gone.
Right.
For sure. Like,
Right.
definitely. And that's like the imbalance that I'm seeing. And that's kind of where Trump, he's not out here. I don't think he's necessarily racist, but he's complicit.
You think he's trying to unite those 32 groups together by
He's
saying,
classist, and he also
stand
knows
by
there's certain
shit?
buttons he can't
I
push.
think that what it comes down to is that he's right now people are drawing the lines in the sand.
Right.
We're getting our teams together.
He'll lose his power base. Listen, there's a certain thing of like also like you're manipulate pawns on the chessboard.
Oh, blue lighter.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Pawns on a chessboard.
Yep.
So he understands also, I know he's smart enough to he is the dude. First of all, you can't touch $1 million even if you were born into it and not keep it. You can't get to where he was if you're not smart. Even he could be ignorant, he could be stupid, but the dude's still a fucking genius.
Mayweather
to a
can't
degree.
sociopath.
Right, but he knows
bro, he can count.
Right, but he knows
Sociopath
if he
can't
knows
be
if he
racist
comes
for
out and
sake,
says
all
some
they
shit,
Sam.
you'll get canceled out from the fucking people whose fucking shit you kind of so I don't even then it's confusion because it's all strategy. It's what's being done in the dark that we don't know. I don't know who to trust because I'm a patriot. I'm an ultimate patriot, meaning that I think that the Constitution, besides the fact that I know the people who wrote it, I know what they were dealing with at the time. They had slaves. I understand all that shit, but if you take the Constitution for what it's fucking for everybody. If you the tenets of
it's
it,
all
if it's
inclusive.
but only if it is actually applied and inclusive.
Yeah.
So I can't even be the patriot that I would like to be.
Well,
because fucking all of a sudden you're going too far, and I don't believe it's super nationalism.
Let's talk about this, man.
But if it wasn't for America, I wouldn't know you, bro. I wouldn't know you, bro. If it wasn't for America, I wouldn't have hip hop. I wouldn't have been exposed to hip hop. Did more for me as a human being than anything else in life, and I would never have gotten it if it wasn't a melting pot.
Let's separate idealism from realism.
Okay, yes.
Because we all want the goddamn America that we thought we were going to learn and enjoy when we were in
the
elementary
American
school.
dream.
Yeah, we're all gonna fucking have a hot chick and fucking have a decent house and hopefully have a place we can wash our
Corvette.
ass. You know,
Getting head in the Corvette while driving up the Pacific Coast
whatever
Highway.
you want. It's your
just
world,
looking at
dude.
the beach.
You grew up in Bruce Springsteen and Michael Jackson, whatever you fucking want, right? And then somewhere along the way, the money got tight, you know, and it never got better. Inflation went up, and what I noticed when I was younger, we really got designed for a world that no longer exists because we're half analog and we're half digital.
Right.
That's who we are. We're the last generation that's half analog and half digital. Just like with television. Remember when television went digital? And it's been shitty ever since, hasn't it? It skips and shit. It's like, dude, I'm watching a fucking DVD here. I'm on television.
Right.
Now, that's what's happening with our culture. Once you make a culture digital, you can rechange the program anytime you want.
Right.
Near infused. Yeah.
And that's what happens when, we're all connected to this goddamn internet,
We're in the
right?
Matrix.
Now look at it. They can get you mad at some shit on Monday, and by Wednesday you're mad about some other shit.
The
and
echo
you're all
chamber's real.
fucked up emotionally, dude. I used to tell people all the time, when you were in the 90s, when you were a kid, what were the 3 biggest things that fucking happened? Dude, we had the Menendez brothers, OJ,
And the race riots.
John Benet Ramsey. Well, fucking OJ started. Well, I mean,
Right.
the fucking Rodney King.
Right.
But like, okay, yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, I mean, but you think about it. By the shit was pretty fucked up in the early '90s with the riots, but by like the late '90s, shit was kind of tame.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
we're almost making up shit to
Until
be concerned
9/11,
about.
until 9/11, most people weren't afraid of Arab people in the community.
Exactly. Now.
Only in movies, though.
The sheikh that got
Yeah.
killed in East Mesa at the AMPM.
That was my guy.
dad, my dad managed the Weather Vane,
Yeah.
the restaurant right next to it, for fucking 8 years.
And
That
see-
dude treated me and my family like
Yep.
fucking like gold. And then I found out some random white dude just went in and blew his fucking cap because he was a sheikh and wore a fucking turban, and he automatically prescribed it to what we were told. Yeah, 9/11.
And
The
the
next
Sikh-
day,
yeah.
I tried to sign up for the Marines.
The Sikh faith
Ready
has-
to go for it. Let's go.
The
They
Sikh
fucking
faith
attacked us,
actually
but
had
then
to
you find
defend
out
themselves against
we did
Islam.
I was in
Pakistan.
boot camp when 9/11 happened, so it was totally different for me. But that's not the point. The point is,
Right.
that what it is that we're on the cusp of something great, and we all know that. And we're in a really beautiful position because we're still the young guys in a lot of ways. Like when you were a kid and watched the
Well, they're
Ghostbusters,
transitioning.
when you watched the Ghostbusters as a kid, we're the fucking new Ghostbusters. We're as old as those guys now. If ghosts invade New York, they're gonna need guys like us to take care of the shit.
Right.
To expand upon that, like basically, I think about J. Cole's song "Middle Child."
Yeah.
We're the middle children.
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
just in hip hop, but just like in the world.
Yeah.
I can have a conversation with my mom.
Yep.
Or like anybody who's older than me, and have that same conversation and translate it to my nephew.
Right.
When I was
Right? My nephew can't have that conversation with my mom. Right, because it's just too far of a generational thing. It's just not.
We're the
happening.
gray area.
Right.
From the old world into the new world.
Right.
We actually experienced the old world enough to know what's fucking not right, and to also see the beauty in the new world, to have the wisdom to know what's right, but also no, hold on, that sounds good, because like we were just talking about breaking these social constructs. Like Jordan Peterson got me into what postmodernist thinking is, and now I see how it's associated with socialism and communism. He showed a bunch of shit to me that started to make sense, but in the essence of it, it's shit like, okay, once again, he got big because of the whole fucking pronouns. What are you? The 54 pronouns, right? What are you? He's saying, no, we can't just change language to prescribe to what's actually 0.0001% of humanity. How am I supposed to know what your fucking Zur is? You look like a man or a girl trying to be a man or a girl, or the opposite. I don't know. But what I will do is call you by your first name. But if you tell me I fucked up, no, it's not. It's no, ma'am. Remember the no, ma'am?
Well,
the guy
yeah.
is okay.
I have
Now
that t-shirt in the bedroom.
now that I know that that's what it is, I can fucking abide by that. But also at the same time, stop trying to break down fucking science and act like there's still not XX and XY at this moment.
What it is like I said, it's idealism versus realism. You know, it's what you want to feel versus what really is.
Right.
I want to feel like a rich, pretty white girl. You know, they have the best lives in the world, dude. If you were a rich, pretty white girl, this movie's already done.
You don't even have to do anything. You don't even have
All
to
the
be good in the
equipment's
bed.
already. And you know what? You
don't
didn't
even
pay
have
for
to
shit
know how to
because
suck
niggas
dick.
won't pay for that shit for you, and you ain't suck no dick.
You don't gotta even know how to do anything. You just lay there and not do shit.
It's like,
But you get somebody somewhere's just gonna like to look at you.
But here's the thing though, right? So it's like, yeah, I wish I could have that kind of life, but is that the fucking reality?
Nope.
No. So me asking you, can you please call me Becky and treat me like a pretty white girl? How fucking retarded do I sound right now?
Right.
But if I put on a goddamn blonde wig and a pink dress, does that make you feel better about the retarded shit I'm asking you? Now, look. I'm just trying to talk to you like a man, okay? See, here's my whole thing. I was raised a certain way, and I will gladly go along with new ideas, but you have to fundamentally make that shit make sense to me.
Right.
If you can't talk to me like I'm 5 years old,
And make it make sense.
then shut the fuck up.
Right.
Because you know what? I'm grown, dude. And I don't got time to learn your new retarded shit when I'm trying to master the old shit that I still am not good at yet.
And it goes back to the fucking what I was saying with the transition.
But wait,
revolution
hold on.
is
Let me-
evolution, so
but-
we have
but-
to be a
but-
little
but
more
hold on,
patient.
But hold on, let me give this. No, I don't want to seem so non-understanding. I support people. You know.
We're speaking the same language.
I
Just
support
right now,
people.
for everyone
I
that's
support
listening,
people. No.
we're speaking the same language.
No, but let's flip it though. Let's
Right.
flip it though. Let's fucking flip it, dude. Okay, I called you he on accident. Now you're mad. Now I gotta go see human resources.
Right.
Right? it's kind of a big fucking deal, right? I
Right.
might lose my job because I fucked
My
around.
career.
Dude, you still got 5 o'clock
My
shadow.
pension.
But you're a girl. Okay, I fuck
Right.
exactly. My fucking life, my kids need to eat and shit. You know,
Right.
like real shit, right?
Right.
No, but hold on. Bartlett just said, you can call me a fucking nigger in the workplace and it's not a hostile environment. Explain that shit to me.
Hold on.
She's
Explain
probably
to
gonna
me.
sit on-
Explain
sit on
to
the
me how
bench,
come on
right?
Facebook I got banned for 7 days
Trump's
for
girl.
calling my friend a faggot. Right? We all understand. And just to be clear for people
Handmaid's
listening,
Tale.
that word I prescribe to South Park. A faggot has nothing to do with who you have sex with. It's
Yeah.
because you're sucking your own dick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's actually a bundle of sticks.
That's
And-
right.
and I refer to
in
it- if
England,
we're-
a faggot is a cigarette, right? So I got banned on Facebook for 7 days for calling my friend who said some low shit. Shut up, faggot. Go suck your own dick a little bit more. But if I would have said, "Hey, you nigger," part of the hard ER there. I'm just doing it because we're on the
Wouldn't it got
podcast here,
banned?
right? If I say that, I'm not getting banned.
Dude, I'm still
I'm
banned.
not getting banned.
I'm still banned right now. I got banned for 30 days. You know why? Because I called Tommy Sotomayor a coon. You can't use the word coon anymore. Black people can't ride on black people that are against their own self-interest without being banned. That's the issue, bro.
Black Republicans.
You know what I'm saying? So like white people, you get to a point where it's like, oh, I got some family members or friends that are saying some racist shit.
Is Terry Crews a
And
coon?
then, let me leave that one alone.
Okay.
Well, you know what? We can
answer
talk
the
about it.
question.
No, we can talk about it. We can
Because
talk
no,
about
this
it.
is an interesting thing I've had because
I
I've
just
seen
don't
this-
want the podcast
No,
to
no,
get banned.
no. I only bring that up because the extremist nature. I'm even
Here,
seeing that
here.
now. Dog, because listen.
Here,
I
no,
said
no, no.
hold on. I said
No,
this
no, I'm
yesterday.
gonna
Hold
give you
on,
the definition of a
hold on.
coon.
I said
I
this
didn't-
yesterday.
I didn't give you the definition
What's
of a
good
coon.
for the black man in America is good for the world, right? Okay, I said that.
progress
So the
for all of us,
moment
dude.
you said earlier, you were talking about black people acting savage. I'm relaying it back. I've known black people as a white person to be the most loving, compassionate, forgiving people in the world.
So have I.
The moment they lose that, this world is going to be done for.
We call those-
So I get
we call those
scared at
niggas.
certain points in time too, because I see, I can't speak on certain things because of the
That-
flesh I
that's-
was born into.
that's that-
but I see certain things, so I'm like, no, please don't go
See,
that far. Don't go
what
that
you're
far because if
creating-
we lose that.
That's that wild pack of niggas that Mel Gibson was afraid of. That's what that is. Once we lose that, we turn into that. You don't want that. You don't want a bunch of Shaka Zulus running around here. I got a spirit in the house that's waiting on what y'all want to do. Anyways, but the thing is, a coon. Okay, here's what the fuck a coon is, dude. And you know what? I don't want to use the word anymore if it's gonna get me banned and shit, because I like fucking being able to talk and have freedom. But if we're having a podcast and being realistic about it, I'm not gonna put my personal opinion on it. But here's the goddamn definition, and argue it if you want. A coon is a black person that speaks more ill will of their own than the establishment they're under. So if I got more shit
Is
to
Oprah
talk,
Winfrey a coon?
Oprah Winfrey has made more media against black men than in favor of
That's
them.
why I asked you.
So I have to, when I look at you, I judge you on those levels. Are you with your power, with your money, and your okay? This movie we're making right now. Are we making black people look good, or are we making us look like a bunch of clowns?
Right.
You got brothers coming together and getting over some shit. You know, that's good. Black Fist is about community. You
So
know,
how do we
well,
get white people to bring it back to what you said earlier?
Okay, let's talk about
Because
it.
of white people, we're the newest race on earth, right? The Caucasian.
last 10,000 years, something
Right.
like that? Yeah.
Okay. So,
Give or take
and I'm
14.
saying this as a Caucasian for me,
Right.
because this is something that I've been fucking trying to find some fucking some levity and some balance with as a white person and shit, right? So like I understand, like okay, because I've had this build with 5%ers. There was a point in time in my early 20s. I wanted to follow the 120. I wanted to study. I wanted to get down with this thing that, you know, but I was told I couldn't. And I didn't understand at the time, but as I got older, I understood why. I still build with these brothers, right?
Right.
I still prescribe the God body mentality to actually be able to be true for everybody.
Right.
But it's the same thing with Farrakhan where they talk about Yakub and fucking, you know, so like,
It gets a little weird.
so
It's
am
a
I
little
the
weird.
devil ultimately? So you got these people not, how do I say this? How do I get white people to take the savagery away so that we could teach our own, so we can civilize our own, so that the absurdity of certain shit isn't 100% acceptable?
And then you don't got to carry the weight of all that bullshit.
Right.
Because I think about it all the time. How hard must it be right now to be just a cool white guy? Like, dude, I like black girls. I like fucking Asian people. Like, I'm not tripping. You know? Go ahead. You speak, please.
Yeah, so I grew up white middle class in Eastern Pennsylvania.
Right.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
You're super white.
Yeah, and I also fell in love because it was so fun. The Fat Boys, Run DMC,
Yeah.
Houdini.
Fuck yeah.
And when I became an adolescent, I was introduced to Afrocentrics, Native Tongues, Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, Jungle
getting that
Brothers.
knowledge, yeah,
And
in
I
the
started
beginning.
to learn about that.
Yeah.
And my mom was raised in the projects with blacks. She raised me on Motown. My dad raised me on classic
So
rock.
Right.
yeah, you had a black upbringing.
Right.
And when I became a teen, I got into avant-garde hip-hop, and there it was like transcending shit.
Right.
And as I grew up, I became a student of hip-hop, and I participated as a white person, knowing that I'm entering in
To a realm that's not your own.
Right.
Yeah.
So as I become a man and I'm part of this conversation, I'm around people I respect, and I want to feed off their positive energy and be a part of this film we're working on and this
Right.
conversation we're dealing with.
Right.
Like when I see the white people on these protest tip, they're trying to speak the narrative of what the black man and what we need to do to come together.
Yes.
But me, I want to listen to the Arizona Kanye here, this guy. I want to hear what you guys want us as white people to do to support Black Lives Matter and not take the lead, because
Well, it's
see what I'm
actually
saying?
interesting because somebody actually inboxed me yesterday. I'm not gonna say names, but this person is a really respected person in the Tucson hip hop community. I actually looked up to this person. He's a white man. He did events back when I started rapping. He put me on shows. Loving dude. And he hit me up and he's like, you know what? I just want to ask you because I'm not seeing the Arizona hip hop community really speak up on the matters. There's only a couple of people.
Yeah.
He sees, like, he mentioned Marley B and people like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, why aren't they saying anything? And I'm like, they don't have any incentive to.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Like,
Well, you have to think about your jurisdiction, dude.
you have to think about your environment.
Exactly. Did,
So,
you,
yeah,
did you grow up out here?
What's up?
Did you grow up out here?
Yeah. I was in Tucson,
So you
Arizona.
grew up around a bunch of white people
Yeah,
and
I was
Mexicans.
raised
We
great.
live in one of the whitest cities in fucking America, dude.
Yeah.
And don't you get along with a bunch of fucking white people?
Yeah.
Isn't your girlfriend fucking white?
My best friend's white. My girlfriend's white.
I got
my
mad
kid,
white
My
friends,
kid is
yeah.
multiracial.
Exactly.
And for me, like,
so it's hard to have this anger.
Arizona has a melting pot mentality.
And
This is
yeah,
what I always try
I
to
love
tell
that
people
about
Right.
because people
Everybody-
are like, "Oh, what's
yeah.
Arizona sound? How come we're not on?" It's because we have so many different styles and cultures and ideals
Yeah.
here, and it's hard for people to grasp the understanding of like Black lives. The reason why I'm so connected is because my grandma's still alive, and I talk to my grandma, and she tells me some wild ass fucking shit of the things that she
Right.
just
Well,
dealt with, and like
I
that
just-
gets passed down. These stories get told, and so to answer your question, it's like, it's understanding our perspective.
Yeah.
And that's really, really hard to do because, you know, even if you listen to hip hop, even if you watch all the black culture, even if you watch
If you
all
don't
the
have black
shows,
people around you,
but
to have a Bill Burr
didn't have the
moment, hold on,
experience.
to have a Bill Burr moment here, like when he's sounds like he's being forgiving of certain people, like when he brought up the dude who owned the fucking the Clippers, and when he brought up fucking old white person doing something that sounds like character, he was like, he was born in 1907.
Right.
What do you expect?
Yeah, John Wayne,
Like,
yeah.
John. We was talking about John Wayne. So he's not excusing anything.
Right.
But he's putting the
Well,
perspective on it of
you're-
look what they've been around. So like, how do you
away
expect
ideas.
somebody who's
Let me
never
flip
been
it.
around
Nah.
a black? Hold on, just a little bit. Oh, so I'm from Northern California. I'm 40 years old, bro. I grew up around everybody. Northern California is a fucking breeding ground for people that are open-minded.
True.
But it also went so far overboard now, where it's like actually kind of not in a lot of ways. The birthplace of gentrification, you got it's a but it's class now. It's money, right? So I grew up around everything. I got exposed to black culture through the same shit he was talking about.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby, Michael fucking Jackson, Run
Dude,
DMC.
dude, you ain't got
but beyond fuck hip hop, I was actually around black people.
That's,
You feel what I'm saying? Like I was actually,
Wait,
so I have a
hold up,
perspective
hold
of being
up.
around it to actually see it.
Hold up,
So
man.
what if you? So what I'm saying is, when he said Arizona, like you guys are saying it. You guys are coming from a place that's all white and Latino, right? So you have an accepting place. Some of these
I
people
honestly
haven't
feel
been
that,
there.
like most of the people that I know as my friends and family who are white, and people like you, not to like diss you or anything,
No.
you guys won't understand my pain until I get shot or killed.
Yeah, pretty
Right.
much.
And that's how direct it has to be.
Now, let
Right.
me check
It's
it.
really fucked up to
Yeah,
say that, but
it's
that's,
true, though. It's
that's
true.
what- it's the
I
it's the
understand that.
proximity thing.
Doc,
Now,
I will
let-
never, I will never
let me
know
go
this. I will
into-
never. That's why I
let
said
me go
earlier,
into
I will
it, though.
never know.
Let me go-
Even no
right.
matter how close to it
Hold
I
up,
am,
dude.
I'm not you.
Hold up. Let me say something, dude. Let me
Sorry.
flip it on you for a second, dog. I'm gonna give you guys a perspective you're not thinking about. Dog. Black people live in the hood and don't even live around white people. But how come we know everything about y'all? You know why? Because we fucking have to survive. And until you have a healthy fear of us, you won't have the time in your life to fucking get to know us. 'Cause you
And
don't
every
need
time
to.
we try to expand that culture, it gets burned
It turns into entertainment,
Or-
and if you can't
or
control
press.
it, you don't like it. Unless it's in your image, you don't want it.
And then when it
It
comes
has
to
to be-
entertainment, yeah, we're
It has to be sugar coated. You can't
giving
have
to you a
real
certain
niggas.
way.
You got to put him in a dress. You got to make the nigga fucking dudes in his ass and shit in the middle of a goddamn black show. You got to make it a little weird, just so it can't be what the fuck we want it to be. Just so we can't have it all.
So
and that's
the most least threatening representation is what you're saying.
But,
Yes.
But again, it comes back to I'm saying what you're saying, being around it. So like, listen, I don't have to have a fear of black people. You want to know why?
But
Because I grew up around black people that I had to be afraid
That's
of.
not the point, though. But that's not
Right.
the point, though. No,
Okay.
no. We got to be realistic right now.
Okay.
This is realism over idealism, my dude.
Okay.
You got motherfuckers on both sides saying if this nigga doesn't win in a couple days, my nigga, it's gonna be a fucking race war, bro.
16
Right.
days.
Okay, so imagine we're the Ghostbusters, nigga, or this is fucking 28 days later. We get it, but there's millions of motherfuckers that don't.
Right.
That's a scary fucking movie, dude.
Right.
You know, and so
Yeah.
now we're all, as artists, we're struggling to find a voice. Like, man, who's cool? Who's cool? Are you cool? Are we still cool? We're on Facebook losing friends
So
every
here's
day.
my
Like,
question: is it willful? Is it? I don't understand willful ignorance. If it's not willful
It's
ignorance,
a lot of
it's
will.
fear.
If it's not okay, if it's fear,
Look.
okay. So yes, this is
Look,
why that's what I
look,
was saying earlier.
what
There's
is-
a lot of
dude,
white
it's
people who
Star
are
Wars
afraid
shit.
of
Fear
this-
turns into anger, dude. Fear turns into hatred. Hatred leads to the dark side. That's why you have all these people that are blindly following goddamn Palpatine, dude. Because it's like, look, we're afraid, but he's the strongest thing that we know. Okay? And here's the thing. Here's the truth about all human beings. If you're truly afraid, you'll gravitate to what makes you feel strong, even if it's not the best thing. That's where supremacy comes from. That's
it's
where
the
militancy
idea of
comes from.
safety and the idea of feeling comfortable.
You go back to the reptilian brain. You go back to the animal instinct. It's
So-
like it's us against them.
So to conclude this, because Jubes is pulling up, to answer your question, it's about
Good conversation,
breaking
dude.
your comfort zone.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know exactly how to do
Appreciate
that because I'm not a fucking psychology expert, but breaking your comfort zone and stepping outside your box and understanding that and actually the episode of South Park nails it, where it's like they talk about how Stan's trying to relate with Token the whole episode, and he's like, "Oh, you know,
any
I
of you
feel
guys
for
need
you,
to
I
use
feel
the
for you."
restroom,
And at
you
the
guys
very
use
end,
my apartment.
he goes with the
We'll
Token,
take a
he's just
bathroom
like,
break.
"I don't get it," and Token's like, "That's it."
Step one is
you're
the
not-
conversation,
like
right?
you're not supposed to get it. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
you
But
can't
I just
get
think
it.
you have to
Can we
respect
understand what it's like to be a woman to get raped? No, we
'cause
can't.
I'll never
but we can
understand
fucking
what it's
listen
like to
and
be
give a
you.
fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We can have a conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
You can listen to her. You can believe her.
Yeah. But on that note, we're gonna end this podcast. Quick shout outs so you guys can say your shit and get your clout points. So we'll start with Joey. Where can we find you? Your
You
music.
can find me everywhere. Dreams of Intro. I know I didn't talk much, but shit, y'all. I was listening though.
It's all good. You had a couple.
It's all
months.
game. Yeah, no, it's all good though. But yeah, Dreams of Intro. You can find me out there, and Intro 2 on all platforms.
Dope. What's up, Ash?
How's it going, guys? This is Ash Bridges. I'm blocked on Facebook, but I am on Instagram. But you can find me at Ash Bridges at Facebook. You can find me at Black Fist Immortal on Facebook, Ashe Osaki at Facebook, Ashe Osaki at YouTube, and hopefully we can get all these podcasts up on those pages too, so we can keep this thing moving.
Yep. What's up, Joe?
What's up? This is Broadway Joe Bags. Shout out to everybody. Oh my bad, I got the voice.
So loud, son. Okay,
The Broadway Joe Bags. You can find me on. I don't do Twitter. I do IG and I do Facebook. And you can find me under Broadway Joe Bags. Reach out. I'm a human being. Let's have a conversation.
There it is.
And then Drew.
Drew Schermrick, DrewSchermrick, or Blind1. Find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, really anywhere.
Dope. Yeah, and I'm Jaron Ikner. You can find me at JaronIkner.com. You know the fuck I am. This is the podcast I put together. So if you click on this, you know what the fuck's going on. So go check out our movie, The Bond. We're trying to make some shit. Go donate some money. There's a link in the comment section or the caption section, and links to everybody who has participated in this wonderful conversation. We're doing
Love
this
you
again.
guys.
We really appreciate
All
it.
love.
Really
All
trying to
love.
elevate shit. So we're going to keep doing this. So much love to you and yours. We are out.